Hey guys, this is MissDarizard, and I'm actually going to be doing a recap for every week of the MissDarizard Draft League, and that's what this video is. This is the recap for week 1. I'm super excited. I think this is going to be a fun little thing to add into the league to make it a little more fun for everybody. So that's what this is. Let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to be doing first is going over some video footage of all of the matches. I'm going to do some quick analysis. We're not going to go too deep into things, just like some key plays, some of the key Pokemon. We'll touch on that really quick. And then after that, we'll go over the standings, take a look at where everyone stands after week 1, and we'll go over the kill leader, and every week we will announce a Pokemon of the week. There's no prize associated with it, it's really just bragging rights. It's just something that's a little fun that I thought would be a cool little thing to add. So let's go ahead and get right into the highlights. So the first match we're going to cover here is Okan versus RealTime. And this is actually a pretty fun matchup here. RealTime starts off really strong with this Cloyster. This Cloyster actually gets a couple kills to start, I think, getting some good clutch crits on the Icicle Spear against both the Zeraora and the Gastrodon, which really helps him out and put him off to a great start. That Gastrodon did get a good little chunk of damage off on him, but it wasn't enough to like kill him, and then Cloyster was able to return with a couple crits on that Icicle Spear, get it done. Ice Shard did more chunk damage than I thought that it would do on Trakian, but that gave Trakian a chance to set up that Swords Dance. Not that it mattered, because RealTime ran the Garbodor strat with an Endure reversal Hitmonlee, which I love to see. I love seeing the fun little tech like that. Okan actually kills with a Leech Seed, which is hilarious to me. Also, Inspector Gadget is an S tier name for that Hitmonlee, I just wanted to mention. So here we see Okan bring out Drampa, and this Drampa is actually going to be a big issue for RealTime. RealTime just doesn't seem to have a good answer for it, mostly because this Drampa won't stay asleep. Every time RealTime tries to put this thing to sleep, it just wakes back up, so it's super annoying for RealTime to try to deal with. But we just see this go on for a little while. Also keep an eye on that Roserade. That Roserade is going to be more of an issue for RealTime later. But for right now, it's the Drampa. And the Drampa is sleepy, but won't be sleeping for long, as you can see. I think RealTime might have forgot here that Drampa has Cloud9, which was a little bit of a misplay. But that right there, that Shadow Ball on the Immune Normal type, that was the misplay that cost RealTime the game. And then from here, it just kind of goes downhill. Okan pretty much just kind of cleans up. I think Okan does lose one more Pokemon. I think the Whimsicott might die in here at some point, but it's pretty basic stuff from here. Drampa and Roserade pretty much clean up everything from here. And there you have it. Alright, so the next game we're going to cover is Riley Brooks versus Frozen Wrath, and this is actually Hoenn Mad versus the Port Richie Pukemukus, which I fucking hate having to say that name every week. It's such a mouthful. But this game was pretty fun too. Actually, all the games this week were a lot of fun, at least for me. Maybe I'm biased because it's like the draft league I'm hosting, but this game was pretty fun. A lot of back and forth to start. There were some really scary moments for both teams. I don't want to spoil anything just yet, because obviously anybody who's watching this from the outside doesn't know who won this match, but this Dusclops was huge for Frozen. I know personally that Frozen was terrified of the abomination that we just saw go down, but he did a super good job preserving it to make sure it could handle that the abomination, Mr. Fish, Dracovish. Here, actually, I thought Malamar was going to get a chance to set up and do some work. That crit volt switch may have made a little bit of a difference. I'm not sure it mattered in the grand scheme of things. But the smart play here was exactly what Riley did. Bring in the sashed T-Ghost and let it hit it back with a Giga Drain. I thought this Mamoswine here for Frozen was going to be a lot bigger than it was. It ended up not being the biggest contributor, but I really thought it was a good answer for everything. Well, most of the things Riley brought ended up not being the case. But this Pokemon right here, this Pokemon was the Pokemon that just put in the most work in this matchup. Toxicroak absolutely just destroys this team. Even with the dual screens up, which when I was watching, I thought, oh god, these dual screens are going to be a problem, are going to be a huge problem for Frozen. But they weren't, just because Toxicroak has really good typing in this matchup against Riley. Got that Swords Dance off and then just proceeds to just stomp out the rest of the team. So that's what we're going to see happen here. There you have it. That takes us to our next matchup, which is British Gent and Primarsu. Again, another fun one. And this is one of my big upsets for the week. And honestly, let me just go ahead and say, Pry has impressed me this season. I've already seen the results for week 2, and Primarsu is not messing around. I've been super impressed with Pry so far this season. She has brought some fun sets on her Pokemon and has just surpassed my expectations and has brought really good comps. It's clear that she's actually prepping for these matches. Yeah, she might be eating food and watching anime during her matches, but the prep beforehand is where all the work is done, and she's clearly getting that work done. So British Gent actually starting with a Perish trap to start the match, which is a really fun set. So probably loses the Gigalith. I kind of spoiled it. Doesn't really matter in the long run, but it was a really fun way for him to start this match against Pry. This Vikavolt here is actually pretty lethal, and Pry has just a good trio of Pokemon that put in a lot of work this week between the Gengar, Gardevoir, and Vikavolt. Wasn't expecting to see Decidueye, honestly. I don't know. Decidueye looks so cool, but I just feel like it's not that great of a Pokemon. I hope Pry can prove me wrong. Actually, you know what? I think Pry has already dropped Decidueye, so scratch that. Decidueye is not even on our roster right now. That just goes to support what I was saying. This Morpeko is really cool too. I really like this Morpeko. That Aura Wheel with Hunger Switch is something that's really interesting. I'd like to see more use and see exactly how it works out, because that is something I'm not super familiar with. And we do see Morpeko steal a kill there on that Corviknight, which I thought was going to be one of the biggest threats coming into this match. That was a good switch by Pry to get that immunity on the Dragon Darts from the Dragapult. And that brought good coverage with Thunderbolt for Sigilyph. And honestly, I mean, it's pretty clear what's going to happen from here. I mean, Dragapult is so good, but Pry just brought some good answers for it. I say that as Dragapult proceeds to just destroy 2 of her Pokemon. This right here, the sash on that Gengar, that was what won her the game. Sashing that Gengar single-handedly won her this game. So that's that match. The next one we're going to go into is Tactical Threat, this is for Rachel, against Fungal, which is the Sanibel Salazzles. This match is crazy. This was another one of my surprise matches for the week. Look, going into this after doing my draft recap, I thought it was clear she was going to run a Trick Room team, but the effectiveness at which she ran that Trick Room team was what was most impressive. She was just constantly on top of things, and her Cofagrigus does so much work in this matchup, which is what you're going to end up seeing. I just can't believe how much work. I can't believe how much work she put into this. I think it's going to be fun to see. Is that going to be the gimmick she relies on every week, or is she going to have other options? Also, side note, that Hatterene is really thick. People don't realize how thick that Hatterene is. But that Hatterene just tanked a super effective knockoff from that Weevil like it was nothing. Only took about 50% damage, got that Trick Room off, and then allows Cofagrigus to basically clean up from here. I mean, it doesn't actually clean up. We're going to see that. There is a scary moment here for Rachel with this Excadrill that's going to come in and get a chance to set up a couple times. but it does look really bad at this point. Like it looks over, and it wasn't over at this point, but it did look like it was. It's just so thick. Look at that. This thing takes no damage. And she didn't bring up, she also has Renegurgus, which is just as bad as Cofagrigus. God, saying those names are so difficult. Rachel, can you please, if you're watching this, please give them nicknames so I don't have to try to say these names every week. I'm so bad at the Coffin Ghosts. Their names are so hard to pronounce. Maybe I'm just an idiot. I don't know. So Cofagrigus goes down, like I said, and this is where the Excadrill has a chance to kind of set up and start to threaten a little bit. It does get a little bit scary, but there is actually a key misplay that we're going to see here that maybe Fungal wins this if not for this misplay. I think we're going to see it right here after the Swords Dance. Okay, no, not yet. There it is, Shadow Claw. Why Shadow Claw? Why did you click Shadow Claw there? Was he trying to predict a switch into Hatterene? I don't know. That's the only thing I could think, is that he was trying to predict a switch, but it didn't come, and then kind of misplayed into death there. Then this matchup here was myself, MissDarizard versus Brad the Bad. That's Miami Manectrix, which is Brad's team, versus the Olivine City Volties. I prepped so much for this match, and honestly, the one thing I didn't prep enough for was this Togetic, and that's what ultimately just ruins me. I press way too hard and let my Salazzle die to that Scrafty, which I shouldn't have taken that trade-off, and then I let my... Well, no, the Salazzle gets the Scrafty, but dies in return, and then my Bishop dies fighting the Ferrothorn, so my two checks for the Togetic die right off the rip, and I was doomed from here. Rotom brings Toxic to kill my Apple Dragon, which really sucked, and that Rotom is also a major issue. That Rotom ends up getting half the kills for his team in this matchup. But that wasn't the big problem. The Rotom gets the kills because of the Toxic. But the reason that the Toxic's able to kill my Pokemon is because this Togetic stalls my team out. I had no way to kill this thing, and I just made a huge mistake, and Brad was prepared and he told me, he's like, this Togetic, you're sleeping on it, and he was right. I did not give this Togetic enough credit. This thing is much better than I anticipated. I thought I was going to be able to take it out with... At this point, I thought, okay, my Hippo is how I'm going to kill this thing, and for some reason, I let it sit in here. Well, not yet, but later I let it sit in and eat a Hydro Pump. For some reason, I don't know. Maybe I didn't have another switch. I can't remember. I got frustrated. I got so frustrated with this match. I didn't watch it a bunch of times, I promise. After the match was over, I watched it like once or twice, and I was like, God, I misplayed so bad here. But that's Mons. That's how Mons goes. Brad was better prepared and made sure to take out the two hard counters to Togetic early, and that really sealed the deal. Let me also say, that yawn is so annoying. That yawn is so incredible. Oh, okay, this is what it is. I let the Hippo stay in because I was afraid of switching into Keldeo and eating a Electric Stab. I didn't want to lose my Keldeo. I thought my Keldeo was going to be the only way I could possibly get rid of this Togetic or the Hippo, but it just never happens. I'm just never able to kill this damn Togetic. The thing is a problem. What I was hyper aware of coming into this match was this Haxorus. That's why I ran a Scarf Moonblast or Bone Beam. That way I knew I could outspeed it +1. I did get that kill, so I felt a little good. It was like a little consolation prize, but it didn't matter. It just didn't matter. If this Hippo would have woke up, I could have Whirlwinded and got that Togetic to drag over Stealth Rocks to get a little more chip damage along with Sandstorm, and I could have won this match. I still could have won, despite misplaying so poorly in the beginning. But, you know, if you're going to depend on RNG to win, you're probably not going to win. Like, you never want to find yourself in a situation where you need RNG to cooperate with you in order for you to win. So, I found myself in that situation and I lost, and that's just how it goes. Not thrilled with the way this game ends. It ends in really boring anticlimactic fashion because instead of just like ending it, Brad really drags this thing out. Not so much with the Keldeo. As you're gonna see, he's gonna go ahead and click Dazzling Gleam to get rid of this thing, while I'm trying to annoy it with Burn and Scald, and not really doing anything, just being annoying. And then this is what bothered me, was instead of killing the Rabombi after a couple roosts, which he could have comfortably done, he just keeps clicking roosts, which is fine. I mean, I don't know. I felt like he was rubbing in how thick this Togetic was. That's what I thought it was. I thought he was really rubbing it in, and I thought it was, because right there, you're at 61%. Just click Dazzling Gleam and finish it. Please end the suffering. But he refused to do so, and he just made me sit through it. It was terrible. It was terrible. It's okay, Brad. I'll get you back. Don't worry about it. So the next matchup, this was the most fun matchup of the week for me. It was Juiced versus SgtMech. So SgtMech is Boo Bear. He's the New Bark Normalizers, a normal monotype team with the exception of Togekiss, who used to be normal. And this is his first draft league. This is really his first time battling anybody PvP other than myself. So like, this is like a big deal. He was prepping so hard all week, and you're gonna see that here. His Heliolisk died early, which was a concern for him because that Heliolisk was a revenge killer. It was definitely set to be a revenge killer, but this Sovoli puts in a lot of work, and honestly, so does his Togekiss and his Beware. Getting that burn on the T-Tar made a big difference. Made a huge difference. Blastoise missing that Hydro Pump on Sovoli also, which I didn't mention, made a difference. But I don't think those were win conditions. I think William still wins this, even without those taking place. Just because he has that Dead-Eyed Ditto sitting in the back that he never even has to use. It just sits there in the back just being menacing. And you have to respect that, because that thing is terrifying, especially because Juice either has that Cobalion Scarfed or Banded. I'm pretty sure he has it Scarfed to counter that Ditto, which is what I would have done. Also, William bringing Ice Punch coverage to deal with that Virizion made a huge difference as well. That Beware put in a lot of work. And then so does this Togekiss getting its second kill, sacking the Togekiss so you make sure you can get a clean switch and a Sovoli to finish it off with a Flamethrower here. It was a really well played match by SgtMech and the New Bark Normalizers, and I was really, really impressed. So that takes us to our standings. Here we have it. So early on here we have the Venusaur division with three-way tie for first as far as wins go, but the differential is the tiebreaker. So it's actually Hoenn Mad in first with that fat four kill differential, followed by the New Bark Normalizers at 1-0 and the Miami Manectrics at 1-0. The most winningest team in the league. I think that grammar was terrible, but whatever. You guys are just going to have to deal with it. And then rounding up the division at 0-1 is the Port Richey Puke Mukus, who took a stomping from Hoenn Mad. So rough start, but I'm sure they'll bounce back. I know Riley knows this stuff, so he's probably going to be prepped for week 2 against me. And is going to try and threaten to even up that record. We'll see what happens. We're going to have our match this Thursday for anybody who wants to watch at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I might be streaming it live, so if you guys want to check that out, feel free to do so. Next is the Charizard division. And the two teams legitimately tied for first because they have the same differential is Pry and Rachel, the Shadow Kingdom Gengars, and this is for Rachel. Best team name. They're both 1-0 with a 2-kill differential. And then myself and Juiced, the San Diego Talonflames, in 3rd and 4th respectively, with both 1 loss, me with a 2-kill differential, and the Talonflames with a 3-kill differential. I feel really good about my matchup against the Port Richey Puke Mukus this week. I feel like I'm going to be able to even my record back up. I feel like I match up pretty well against this team. I've already started prepping. I started prepping like the day that I lost my match to Brad. That's like, when I lose a match, I like become obsessed with winning my next one. So I've been prepping really hard for this. I feel like I'm going to be able to even it back up. But yeah, that takes us to the Blastoise division, which is the final division that we'll talk about here. And the only team with a win as of this recording in this division is the Atlanta El Cremies. That's Okan. Okan, who is 1-0 with a 2-kill differential, standing alone as the only team in the division with a victory. The Sanibel Salazes, Bellport Bewares, and Sunny Day Solar Beams all tied with the same amount of losses, the same amount of wins, and the same amount of negative kills. I don't know if I said that right. Whatever. They're all -2 differential. That's the point. As far as matchups go this week, there are a lot of fun matchups. Actually, 2 matches already took place as I'm recording this, so I'm not going to try and spoil anything, but lots of really fun matchups coming up this week. So if you haven't, please check out my stream. When I go live, I stream 5 days a week, and while I'm streaming, you can get the Discord link, join the Discord, and you can follow the Draft League as it happens instead of watching these recap videos. But if you just want to watch these recap videos, that's fine too. And then down here at the bottom, we do have the kill leader, which is something we will update each week. The kill leader in the entire league is Cofagrigus with 4 kills. That is playing for the, this is for Rachel squad. So that is our kill leader. And coincidentally is also the Pokemon of the week. Again, Cofagrigus, 4 kills. So Cofagrigus had a really solid week. But I will say this, not to spoil too much, but I have watched the matches that took place today. And as of right now, Cofagrigus is not the only Pokemon in the league with 4 kills. And the Pokemon that is tied for first place with 4 kills currently is a Pokemon that we did not see at all in week 1. It went undrafted. It was a free agency pickup, and picked up 4 kills in its first match, which was super impressive. Also, my cat came. But yeah, that's gonna be it. So thanks y'all for hanging out with me and watching over here or on my socials, my Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, which coincidentally is the same as my Twitch name. So if you want to follow me on Twitch, which is where I do a lot more content, you can just find me at MissDarizard, just like it's spelled on my YouTube page. Feel free to follow me on Instagram at W31CH and on my Twitter at DariaW31CH as well. And I'll be posting these videos every week. So y'all have a good week. Thanks for watching.